I am such a squirrel when I come in this room. I come in here and I plan to do like 3 songs, right? So listen to 3 songs, do 3 videos. And then I start here sitting and watching YouTube videos. And I've been sitting here for like probably the past 30 minutes just watching random YouTube videos. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're having a lovely, beautiful, sunshiny, fantastic, stupendous day. My name is Justin, and today we're listening to Talking Heads with their song Seen, Not Seen. This is off of their album Remain in the Light, released in 1980. So is this song about whether to record a film or not? Let me just let that joke go. You can join me on Twitter in the comments below. Let's get into the music. Why waste time? This is Seen and Not Seen by Talking Heads. That was a horrible joke.
He would see faces in movies, on TV, in magazines, and in books. He thought that some of these faces might be right for him, and that through the years, by keeping an ideal facial structure fixed in his mind, or somewhere in the back of his mind, that he might, by force of will, cause his face to approach those of his ideal. The change would be very subtle. It might take 10 years or so. Gradually his face would change its shape. A more hooked nose, wider, thinner lips, beady eyes, a larger forehead. He imagined that this was an ability he shared with most other people. They had also molded their faces according to some ideal. Maybe they imagined a new face would better suit their personality. Or maybe they imagined that their personality would be forced to change to fit the new appearance. This is why first impressions are often correct. Although some people might have made mistakes. They may have arrived at an appearance that there is no relationship to them. They may have picked an ideal appearance based on some childish whim or momentary impulse. Some have gotten halfway there and then changed their minds. He wonders if he too might have made a similar mistake.
It's a shorter piece, but I think that it says a lot. Lyrically, it says a lot. Musically, it does a lot. So feeling-wise, I'm feeling a lot. This is one of those pieces where it has a simple rhythm and everything else is built and wrapped around it. I love all the sound effects. The bass. The bass just tastes good. Okay, it's a tasty, delectable bass line. And then all the sound effects, I would imagine that's probably Eno. All of the sound effects that are wrapped around this track while Byrne just kind of like monotonously kind of speaks and puts his words to paper, so to speak. It all works really well. This song I actually really liked, and I mean, I don't know because I don't, know this album yet, but I feel like this might be an underrated track. I love that. And I like how lyrically when he talks about the change, there's a change. I know it happens quite often and I mention it pretty much all the time, but I just think it's something that's worth mentioning when they, mention something lyrically and they make it come alive in the music. That long sustained bright note in the back kind of fades back away and we get into the verse again. Like, this is a short track, but it's really satisfying. There's something about it I really like. It's hypnotizing. There's enough change in there that, like, I'm never feeling like it's stagnant. I don't know. This one I really like. This track feels like slowly getting into a warm bath. Or a warm pool, a jacuzzi, a hot springs. Like, there's something oddly warm about the track. Even though maybe the lyrics are delivered somewhat coldly, somewhat stoically, perhaps. Let's get into the lyrics on this one. He would see faces in movies, on TV, in magazines, and in books. He thought that some of these faces might be right for him, and that through the years, by keeping an ideal facial structure fixed in his mind, or somewhere in the back of his mind, that he might by force of will cause his face to approach those of his ideal. So it seems like it's talking about a singular person who is looking at perhaps movie stars or famous people or just people of some sort of status and stature and wanting to model himself after them. So here it talks about him like physically trying to change his appearance. Gradually his face would change its shape, a more hooked nose, wider, thinner lips, beady eyes, a larger forehead. Now, none of those things necessarily sound like good, but hey, more power to him if that's what he wants to do. Then he says that he imagines that this is the same thing that a lot of other people do. He says maybe they imagined that their new face would better suit their personality, or maybe they imagined that their personality would be forced to change to fit the new appearance. This is why first impressions are often correct. Now, I love that line because I get the idea that he's saying first impressions are often correct because when you first meet someone or you first, interact with someone new, that is, their true self in a sense. Perhaps. According to what he's saying, right? Because after you get to know each other, you start to maybe change your face towards each other. I don't know. I feel like he's saying something like that, even though I would think it would be the opposite. Like, at first, you're maybe a little more guarded, a little more masked. And then as you get to know each other, you become unmasked and you become more comfortable with each other. But I think that's what he's saying. Although some people might have made mistakes, they may have arrived at an appearance that bears no relationship to them. They may have picked an ideal appearance based on some childish whim or momentary impulse. Some may have gotten halfway there and then changed their minds. He wonders if he too made a similar mistake. So some people may see someone that they like and, as he says, on a childish whim, on an impulse, they want to be like them and they change some aspect of their life, their appearance or whatever, to be more like that person. But then that may not be who they really are, or it may not truly be like their ideals, They're just doing it on a whim, in fashion. So lyrically, I actually really like this song. I really like kind of what he's getting at here in the lyrics. I would love to know what you guys thought of this track. I think that this is fantastic. Like I said, warm bath water. Actually, no, forget the warm bath water. It's just getting into a hot springs, okay? I don't take baths. I take showers. I you know what I mean. Okay. Twitter, comments, Patreon. Have a lovely day. Have a beautiful day. I love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.